Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the co-feature at Kentucky Downs on Sunday is the Dueling Grounds Oaks for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a peek at the field. We're going to go 1 mile and 5/16 for $200,000. And the morning line favorite, Mike, is the number 1, Daddy's Little Darling. Daddy's Little Darling reminds me a little bit of Looking at Lee. Okay. She dances just about every dance. Yeah. She doesn't have a lot of early speed. She does have some ability, but oftentimes her late run leaves her with just a little bit too much to do.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? The running style does seem like it tends to work against her more often than it doesn't. On the other hand, she's pretty talented. She's kept some pretty good company, and I feel like she showed 2 starts back in a really tough Belmont Oaks. She's just fine on the turf. She ran pretty well that day. I feel like if she just can sort of come back in this spot and run something like that, she's probably pretty tough for this field to beat.
Usually it's odd to say that the horse to beat is a turf maiden, and not only a turf maiden has not hit the board in 2 turf starts, but you're absolutely right. Considering her turf pedigree, she has run well on the turf. In that Belmont Oaks, she finished just behind Uni, who came back to run second in the Lake Placid with a 93 Beyer speed figure. But she'll need pace, and there's a formulator fact that I think we should discuss for trainer Ken McPeak. Moving from dirt to turf in route races and races restricted to 3-year-olds off a mini layoff, it's not a great number, 4%, 43% ROI, and sometimes you just need something to knock the chalk.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be interesting too to see, because they made her sort of, we'll call it like a lukewarm favorite on the morning line. I wonder if she just might, be a more clear-cut favorite than that when all is said and done.
The number 3, Summer Luck, 4-1 on the morning line. She's got something in common with Daddy's Little Darling. She hasn't won on the turf either. What did you make of her most recent race at Saratoga on August the 17th? I thought that pace was solid. I thought the trip, though, was okay, and she couldn't punch it in.
I agree with that. The pace was solid, but I didn't have any problem with the trip that she got in there. I just felt like she was second best in there. Her other turf start, the Regret down at Churchill Downs, I thought she ran pretty well that day. That was another race. Pace was pretty solid. She was pretty close to it. I thought that she ran well that day as well. I don't know. She was one of those horses that when I went through this, I was just sort of like, I could go either way on her, and if she's going to be one of the shorter prices in this race, I'll probably try and fade her a little bit.
Am I barking up the wrong tree when I think that this horse is more effective at way shorter distances?
No, that's what I think too. I'm not so sure I love them putting more distance underneath her here.
Let's see what the Timeform US Pace Projector has for the Dueling Ground Oaks. Now, Summer Luck they have on a nice, comfortable early lead, and certainly if that's the case, she might be able to stay this 1 mile and 5/16 distance. Like you, I'm a bit dubious of her lasting at this trip. The number 4 is Lamont Gris going out for Rusty Arnold, and Lamont Gris was a winner at 1 mile and 3/8 last time out. She really appreciated that extra distance. When I watched that race, however, it just looked like somebody needed to win. Nobody wanted to win in the stretch, and Lamont Gris just happened to get there.
Yeah, I mean, she got it done. Credit to her for getting it done, but that was a really nice trip and ride that Leparoux gave her there. And you're right, she just sort of grinded through the stretch, and she was able to prevail at the end, and she was a good price that day. But you know what? She'll probably be a pretty good price in this race, so if you like her, you can bet her back.
The number 5 is Thrice, off the Michael Maker claim. Maybe that's all we need to know.
Yes.
Maker claimed the source for 40, and we've seen it so many times. He takes a quality horse. Look at Thrice. She's run 4 times. She's, a length and a neck away from being undefeated. But Maker claims these horses. He stretches them way out in distance, and they thrive. Thrice has good tactical speed. She won't be letting Summer Luck get too far away. She's a sleeper.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, when I go look at her, she's made her last couple of starts in New York, and she's run fine in those races. I'm not blown away by what she's been doing on the racetrack, but it's just so hard to underestimate these horses when Maker claims them and stretches them out, because we've seen so many of them win, and it doesn't matter if he jumps them way up in class like he's doing with this one. They can handle it. He knows which ones can handle it. It makes me want to use this horse somewhere.
Number 6, Holiday's Angel, recently won on dirt at 1 mile. I think it's too early to say that she's not a turf horse. She had some issues 2 starts back. I think it is fair to wonder if she classes up with this field.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for her. They claimed her for $30,000 a few starts ago. I don't want to be too hard on her for that only turf race, but it's not like she ran great, and she's going to have to really improve.
I think a sneaky contender that we both like a little bit's the number 7, K. Beck. Now, you can go into Formulator, and you can click on the short comment, and the video will pop up, and I think it's worth it, folks, to watch K. Beck's last race, because a lot of things went on in there.
Yeah, to say that she didn't get the greatest trip in the world would sort of be an understatement. I mean, there was a lot going on from sort of the end of the back stretch all the way around to the top of the stretch where she was just very badly compromised. The fact that not only that she only lost by, it looked like she was going to win in deep stretch, is kind of amazing. She ran a really good race in there. You know what? If she can run that race back, I mean, she could very well win this race. She was good last time.
She has really improved with blinkers in her last 2 races, and I think she's actually going to be lost in the shuffle because this low-profile barn, a lot of folks might not be familiar with, done a very good job thus far from limited opportunities. Keep an eye on the number 7, Quebec. The 9 is Point System, who won an off-the-turf race last time out, but perhaps the key to that race was at 1.25 miles, and it shows that Point System wants distance.
Yeah, distance really works for her. I don't love her turf races, which bothers me. The other thing is, she's one of those horses, that last race was scheduled for turf, obviously, and rained off. She has a much better pedigree to go along on dirt, and I think that sort of helped her last time to post that big win. I don't like her as much coming back to the grass, but the distance is okay for her.
The 10 Lantes goes out for a very good trainer, and she has won 3 out of her last 4 races at shorter distances against weaker competition. Is she good enough to win this race? It's nice to at least see that the buyers are moving the right way.
That's true. Improvement noted in her most recent few starts, and I do like that the figures are heading the right way. It is one of those courses here at Kentucky Downs where you're sort of not surprised by anything. I didn't like this horse that much, but she's another one. She's a pretty big price and good form.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Dueling Grounds Oaks. You're going with the Mad Genius. The number 2 Lift Up going out for Michael Dickinson. Is it simply a situation that this is a new horse on turf?
I think it is. I mean, this is what she's really bred for. When you go back through that, she's from one of those, Augustan stable families, and it's just all good turf horses. So I'm not sure what took them so long to run her on it, but once they did, she's obviously upped her game. And yes, she's had 2 perfect trips in a row on the grass, but it just feels like she's that kind of horse. She gets those kinds of trips, she's handy, and she finishes through the lane. I didn't love the 2 favorites in here. This was the horse who I was just sort of attracted to. I think she could take another step forward here.
I'm just taking a stab with the 8 Gentle Kitten. I readily admit that I don't have a strong opinion on this race. Last time out at 1 mile at Arlington Park, that race was faster than an $80,000 3X for fillies and mirrors that same day, and perhaps better yet, Gentle Kitten defeated 4 next out winners. She came with a nice solid wide move. And while the race was only at 1 mile, I like that she kind of grinded it out. And again, Maker has a good feeling for when to stretch these horses out. She is by Kitten's Joy. A little bit too sprinty on the bottom, but I'm hoping the Kitten's Joy and can move this horse up at this elongated distance. The price should be right, I think, for the 8 Gentle Kitten. Mike's going 2, 1, 3, and 7. I'm going 8, 7, 4, and 10 in the Dueling Grounds Oaks, which has an approximate post time of 4:54 Central on Sunday. Good luck.